Hey Internet, Eric here. 12 Days of Christmas Horror continues. So does the Silent Night, Deadly Night series here on this channel. If you're new to the concept, 12 Days of Christmas Horror is basically watch 12 horror movies, make 12 videos, upload them, one a day for 12 days. And if you have been watching me do this, I'm still in the Silent Night, Deadly Night series. I just got done surviving the boredom that was Silent Night, Deadly Night 3. Today, Silent Night, Deadly Night 4, Initiation. Now, this came out in 1990. I discussed plot spoilers, specific scenes, all that crap. I knew with Silent Night, Deadly Night 4, they were going to go into a new direction. No more Billy, no more Ricky. And I was okay with that because after what I saw in Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, I wasn't happy with how that movie turned out. I'm okay. We can leave those guys behind. And I thought of like this could be like Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, try to take the series into a different direction. I thought that one was great. Most people didn't, so they brought back Michael Myers. So with this one, I thought it was a good idea until I watched it. Now, the basic plot of this one is, Jesus Christ. We're now following some woman who works for the newspaper. She does the classifieds and stuff like that. And she wants to be reporter. She wants to be Lois Lane. But she can't get anywhere because the man's holding her down. Yes, this is a pro-woman, anti-man movie from 1990, way, way before Black Christmas 2019. Anyways, she wants to investigate this woman spontaneously combusting and throwing herself off a high-rise building. And as she gets involved with this, she finds out that, after she does her investigation, she gets involved with a cult of witches, and Clint Howard's involved, and cockroaches, and sacrifices, and a whole bunch of shit that doesn't make any sense. And I'll get to that. First off, acting. This lead actress, she's okay. Her voice is kind of annoying, but you know what? She does what she has to do. If you can get past her voice and a lot of the whining she does, she's not a dislikable character. She does a good job trying to get her job done. Get the clues, try to figure out why this woman spontaneously combusted, and all that jazz. Now, after that, the acting really takes a dive. The leader of the Coven of Witches, she is super unlikable, which I think she's supposed to be because she's a man-hater. She blames men for a lot of the problems with the world. I think even when a man character is killed, she looks at the redhead. The redhead is the lead, and she said, he's just a man. So, she does a good job being a stone-cold bitch, but not likable. Granted, you're not supposed to. The boyfriend of the redhead, the reporter, he's okay. He does care about this girl. They have okay chemistry. They have more chemistry when they're doing the sex scene than when they're, actually trying to be a couple. But he's okay. And then there's Clint Howard. Clint Howard plays a homeless man named Ricky. I'm pretty sure it's not the Ricky from Part 3 because that would be really fucking weird. But Clint Howard is good at being Clint Howard. He's creepy to look at. He's uncomfortable on screen doing a bunch of shit that I'll talk about. He does his job. So that's it. Now let's get to the actual fucking plot of this movie. I didn't understand it. I didn't like it. I don't care that this is another direction. This could have been any type of movie just set at Christmas time, okay? But man, the whole witch thing is weird. And then it gets really trippy, especially when Clint Howard gets involved. Because this woman, the redhead, she gets involved with this cult. And there's a scene where she's drugged. Okay, she's having a picnic with these three. She doesn't know they're witches. I think they're witches. I'm assuming so. She's having a picnic with them, and then she ends up getting drugged and drunk. And she's having all these weird fucking visions. Where Clint Howard has this gigantic larva, and he cuts it in half and pours all the inside goo on her face. It really, as sexual as this movie is in parts, it really looked like a bukkake scene afterwards. Google that at your own risk. That was disgusting. This movie is just gross for the sake of being gross. And I guess it makes sense because I guess the director directed Society, which I've never seen, but I've heard is just nasty for the sake of being nasty. Um, and there's some other weird fucking shit. Um, she's having all these hallucinations. There's a lot of cockroaches in this movie. She's having hallucinations of giant cockroaches climbing down her walls. She's having hallucinations of like her hands, like like her fingers are like popping out of socket and melding together and stuff like that, and it looks really fucking weird. Um, the those special effects look good because I guess Screaming Mad George is behind them, and I'm pretty sure he did the special effects for Nightmare on Elm Street 4 Dream Master, and that makes sense because the chick turned into a cockroach there, and I thought that was a cool dream or nightmare death sequence, whatever. And he's involved with fucking cockroaches here, so I think he's got a bug fetish. But there's more fucking weird shit that happens. Um, there's more rape in this series. This series really likes rape, okay? And granted, part one was attempted rape. Part two, there was attempted rape there when Ricky saved the girl in the field. Nothing in part three, so that's the only one good thing. Here we actually get rape. It's not overly graphic, but it's really uncomfortable, not just because it's rape, but because it's the redhead, and she has been drugged, and she's now in this room full of all these cultists, the witch ladies, and this and that, and she's being held down. She's being raped by Clint Howard, of all people. There's no nudity or nothing like that, but it's still shirtless Clint Howard, and it's not just Clint Howard, with the ugly face, but it's Clint Howard, and he's wearing like the Alex DeLarge mask. During the rape scene of Clockwork Orange, he's wearing that here, with the white eyes and like this huge phallic nose. Because, and then she has something put in her. I don't know if it's supposed to be because the leader of the cult is. She wants her daughter back. Her daughter was the one that spontaneously combusted because she wasn't good enough to carry the flames of whatever person that they worship or some shit like that. So she was going to use the redheaded reporter as the replacement. I don't know. So that means Clint Howard has to impregnate her or some shit like that. Fucking weird. After the rape, she wakes up and her legs are bound together, or she has a hallucination where her legs are bound together, like they mold together and they turn into like a fishtail, I think. And then she wakes up, and then like her legs are back to normal, and there's like this skin that's melted off of her, like it's how a snake sheds its skin. More shit that didn't make fucking sense. There is. I will say this. I liked the scene where she's going fucking nuts. All right. And the boyfriend cares about her, obviously. He wakes up in the middle of the night and she's wanting to commit suicide. Like she's taking a bunch of pills and he's making her throw up. And she's punching the mirror and it's not there. And then, of course, Clint Howard shows up and he attacks the boyfriend, stabs him to death. Nice death. And then the best friend shows up. The best friend of the redhead who works at the newspaper with her. She's played by dark-haired girl from the Tommyknockers, the one who murdered her husband for sleeping with Tracy Lords. She find out she's part of the cult, which I didn't see coming, so I'll give the movie that. Yeah. But then she is with Clint Howard, and she tells Clint Howard to take her to the cults, and it's just fucking weird. And then they're going to kill the woman at the end, the redhead, unless she sacrifices the younger brother of her boyfriend for some fucking reason. I don't know. Of course, she turns good at the end. She kidnaps the younger brother, like she's going to make the sacrifice happen. But of course, she basically tells the witches, fuck you, gets the boy out of there. Chaos happens. Clint Howard is killed in there, and then he's eaten by a bunch of larvae. Because. And then more weird shit happens. And the redhead is obviously going to spontaneously combust because there was a scene where she got in the shower earlier and she started combusting, and Clint Howard's telling her to calm down. It'll stop if you make this sacrifice. Okay? So she starts to spontaneously combust because she didn't make the sacrifice, and then she puts her hands together, and her hands like mold into like this giant weird spike, like this peach spike. Fucking weird. And of course, It sets on fire, and she impales the leader of the cult, okay? The head witch, I guess you would say. Head witch gets caught on fire in a horrible effect, falls off the building, and then it just ends. That's it. It ends like that. One of the weirdest movies I've seen in a long, long time is definitely... I don't know why it's a Silent Night, Deadly Night movie, because there really isn't that much of a Christmas theme to it. There's like one scene, or two scenes, that involve Christmas. It was kind of funny, for wrong reasons. The redhead and the boyfriend are going to the boyfriend's parents for dinner, and she's awkwardly sitting there with boyfriend's father. He's talking about how Christmas is, I don't know if he hates Christmas, but he's basically browbeating his wife to get him another beer. And then he finds out that the redhead doesn't celebrate Christmas because she's Jewish and she's also not religious. So he's being a fucking prick and throwing in his little insults there. So that's one Christmas theme. And then there's another Christmas theme where, like, I think the younger brother is opening a present. That's it. Other than that, you don't even know it's a fucking Christmas movie. Yeah. I don't know where they wanted to go with this film. I don't know what the point of this film was, because no likable characters, decent gore, like with the knife. I think it was just one of those, we're going to be weird to be weird. So, Silent Night, Deadly Night 4, Initiation, I don't recommend at all. I did not like it at all. Was it better than Part 3? I don't know. I was just really disappointed in what they did with, like, the Ricky character in 3. So that's why I didn't like it. This one was just fucking weird for the sake of being weird. Clint Howard rape, larva, and man-hating, and this and that. So, yeah, I'll say it's worse than, it's as bad, if not worse, than Part 3 for different reasons. It's definitely not the worst movie I've ever seen. That's still Dune, because I don't think Fart the movie counts. It's definitely not the worst movie I've ever discussed on this channel. That's still Big Ballin' with Todd Bridges. But Silent Night, Deadly Night 4, Initiation, I did not enjoy at all. Don't recommend it. Don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's got its following just for the sake of being weird and because of the director who directed Society. Like I said, never seen it, but I'll never, ever, ever watch this again. Did not have fun with it. Now, I know Jason from Horrific Nightmares, he's also reviewing the series as of this recording. I think as of this recording, he's just uploaded his Silent Night remake review. So by the time this uploads tomorrow, he'll no longer be talking about the series. However, he did say that he grew to like Part 3 with repeated viewings. I told him I'd be willing to give Part 3 another shot, because I think one of the main reasons why I didn't like that one was because of how much I loved Part 2, and I watched that immediately after. I'm never fucking watching this one ever again. Trust me. So that's it. Thank you for watching this. Don't watch Silent Night, Deadly Night 4. Like and subscribe, click the bell, all that jazz. Comment below. Tell me if you're one of the people that actually do like this movie. And please tell me why, because I am open for discussion. That's it. All I'll say is click the bell, tell your friends, tell your enemies. I hope you're enjoying this 12 days of Christmas horror, because I'm enjoying it. Concept-wise, not necessarily watching Silent Night, Deadly Night 3 and 4. And I got 5 tomorrow. Stars Mickey Rooney. Hooray. Later.